Port Elizabeth Central a struggle with crime, drug dealers, and lack of accountability. Port Elizabeth, often referred to as the friendly city, has long been recognized for its historical significance, natural beauty, and economic contributions to South Africa. However, in recent years, the city, particularly its central areas, has faced mounting challenges with crime, drug dealing, and a concerning lack of accountability by both local government authorities and law enforcement agencies. This section will explore the factors contributing to the deterioration of safety in Port Elizabeth Central, how drug-related activities have taken hold in the region, and the ongoing struggles residents face due to ineffective governance. The growing issue of crime and drug dealing in Port Elizabeth Central. The Central Business District, CBD, of Port Elizabeth, like many urban centers in South Africa, has witnessed a significant increase in crime over the past few decades. The area, once known for its bustling retail, industrial, and transport activities, has become increasingly unsafe due to the pervasive influence of drug dealers and related criminal activities. Drug trafficking is a major driver of crime in Port Elizabeth Central. The city has seen an alarming rise in the availability and abuse of substances such as methamphetamine, known locally as tick, heroin, and cannabis, which have wreaked havoc on local communities. Dealers operate openly in certain neighborhoods, often without fear of arrest, and vulnerable individuals, including the youth, become ensnared in addiction, which contributes to further social instability. The effects of drug dealing are far-reaching. Not only does the presence of drugs fuel addiction and substance abuse problems, but it also leads to an increase in violent crime, property theft, and street-level offenses. Those addicted to drugs often resort to crime to fund their habits, leading to a surge in incidents of robbery, assault, and petty theft, making the area increasingly dangerous for law-abiding residents and visitors alike. The erosion of safety and the lack of accountability. Port Elizabeth Central area has become a focal point of criminal activity, yet the response from both local government and law enforcement has often been criticized as inadequate and ineffective. One of the main issues at the heart of the problem is a significant lack of accountability, both within the police force and among city officials responsible for the well-being of the community. Police inefficiency and corruption. The South African Police Service, SAPS, in Port Elizabeth has faced consistent challenges in effectively combating crime in the CBD. Many residents express frustration with the police force's inability to properly address the growing problem of drug dealing and general lawlessness. While there are occasional police raids or crackdowns in certain areas, these efforts are often short-lived and fail to bring lasting solutions to the systemic issues at hand. A large part of the issue lies in police inefficiency and sometimes even corruption. Police officers, including those stationed in the Port Elizabeth CBD, have been accused of turning a blind eye to criminal activities either due to lack of resources, low morale, or, in some cases, collusion with the drug dealers themselves. The result is a feeling of disillusionment among the public, who see the police as ineffective or unwilling to tackle the problem head-on. Moreover, police resources are often overstretched, and the lack of visible policing in high-crime areas allows criminal elements to flourish. The community's trust in law enforcement has deteriorated as residents increasingly feel that they are left to fend for themselves, without meaningful intervention from the authorities. The role of local government. The local government in Port Elizabeth has also been criticized for its lack of effective governance in addressing the root causes of crime and the drug trade. The Nelson Mandela Bay municipality, which governs the city, has faced several issues in terms of governance, including political infighting, corruption scandals, and inefficiency in addressing the needs of the community. These issues have hindered progress in tackling crime and ensuring that residents feel safe in their neighborhoods. Despite several initiatives aimed at revitalizing the city's central areas, such as urban renewal projects and efforts to attract investment, the ongoing drug crisis and escalating crime rates have undermined these efforts. Furthermore, local government programs aimed at crime prevention, youth development, and addiction recovery have often lacked sufficient funding and coordination, leading to subpar outcomes. The municipality has also been accused of neglecting to address the basic needs of residents in high-crime areas, such as improving infrastructure, providing social services, and offering support for vulnerable populations. These failures create a vacuum in which criminal organizations thrive, contributing to a growing sense of hopelessness among residents who feel that the authorities are neither capable nor willing to create lasting change. Impact on communities and residents. The consequences of drug-related crime and lack of accountability are deeply felt by the communities of Port Elizabeth Central. The residents who live in the heart of the city are among the most affected by the unchecked criminal activity and deteriorating safety. Impact on youth and families. Drug addiction is especially prevalent among the youth in Port Elizabeth Central. With limited access to education, employment opportunities, and recreational activities, many young people are lured into the grip of drug dealers. The rise in drug use and addiction among young people has had devastating effects on families, many of whom are struggling to cope with the social and economic fallout. The family structure in many cases becomes fragmented, as parents and caregivers battle to support children who have fallen into addiction. The lack of effective intervention from local government programs means that many families are left to manage the crisis on their own. Additionally, the absence of opportunities for the youth to engage in positive activities, such as sports or arts programs, exacerbates the situation, leading to increased vulnerability to criminal behavior. Economic decline and urban blight. The surge in crime, particularly drug-related crime, has also contributed to economic decline in the CBD. Businesses, especially those in the retail and hospitality sectors, have suffered as a result of the growing insecurity. Property owners are hesitant to invest in the area, and some are choosing to relocate their businesses to safer neighborhoods. This economic stagnation, combined with urban decay, has further deterred investment and created a vicious cycle of decline. The central area, once known for its vibrancy and historical significance, is now increasingly plagued by boarded-up shops, abandoned buildings, and deteriorating infrastructure. The once bustling streets are now often empty after dark, as both residents and visitors avoid the area due to safety concerns. Efforts to address the issues and possible solutions. While the challenges facing Port Elizabeth Central are formidable, several organizations, community groups, and individuals are working hard to combat the negative trends and bring about positive change. However, lasting solutions will require comprehensive, multifaceted efforts that address both the symptoms and root causes of crime in the area. Strengthening law enforcement and accountability. One of the most important steps toward restoring safety in Port Elizabeth Central is a more effective and accountable police force. This includes ensuring that police officers are adequately trained and resourced to tackle organized crime, drug trafficking, and street-level offenses. More visible policing in high-crime areas would help deter criminals and reassure residents that law enforcement is actively working to restore order. Additionally, addressing corruption within the police force and holding officers accountable for misconduct is crucial. This could be achieved through improved oversight, transparency, and the implementation of stricter disciplinary measures for officers found to be complicit in criminal activity. Collaboration between local government and civil society. The local government must also take a more active role in addressing the systemic issues contributing to crime. By collaborating with civil society organizations, community leaders, and businesses, the municipality can help develop targeted programs to combat drug addiction, improve access to education and employment, and reduce poverty in the area. Moreover, urban renewal projects should be focused on addressing both infrastructure needs and social services for vulnerable populations. Investment in community-based initiatives, such as youth programs and rehabilitation centers, can offer alternatives to a life of crime and help reintegrate those affected by addiction. A holistic approach to drug addiction. A more comprehensive approach to drug addiction is also essential. Port Elizabeth needs expanded rehabilitation centers and outreach programs that provide support for individuals struggling with addiction. These programs should be designed to offer both short-term treatment and long-term recovery options, focusing on rehabilitation, reintegration into society, and education about the dangers of drug abuse. Conclusion. Port Elizabeth Central has become a symbol of the challenges faced by many urban centers in South Africa. Drug dealing, rising crime, and a lack of accountability by both the police and local government have created an environment in which lawlessness thrives. The community is in urgent need of solutions that go beyond short-term fixes and address the root causes of crime, poverty, and drug addiction. Restoring safety and rebuilding Port Elizabeth Central will require strong leadership, better policing, and a concerted effort from all sectors of society. While the road ahead may be long, there is hope that through collaboration and a commitment to meaningful change, Port Elizabeth can regain its former vibrancy and once again become a city where all residents feel safe and valued.